Since 1974, CPAC has brought together conservative leaders, activists, and lawmakers to discuss key issues in America. One America's Jenn Pellegrino meets with Trump campaign spokeswoman Kayleigh McEnany to discuss the president's visit to the conference and the upcoming election.
Kayleigh McEnany, thank you so much for joining me. It's great to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
We're here with CPAC kicking off. Why is CPAC such a big deal?
CPAC has always been a huge deal. The media doesn't make it easy to be a conservative. It's not easy to be a conservative on a college campus, for example. And this conference is a gathering where people with similar values can come together, celebrate being a conservative. And for years, people have always found their voice here. You know, it was Rush Limbaugh 10 years ago. I remember watching a speech when I was just a college student abroad and how energizing that was. And it gave me a strength I needed to be a proud conservative. But here we are 10 years later, and President Trump speaking. He spoke at the last CPAC. It's a big deal because we finally found that figure in President Trump that's an unashamed voice for conservatism. It makes it a heck of a lot easier for all of us to stand up and be bold because we've got a fearless leader who we will be hearing from again on Saturday.
That's right. So obviously he came here last year, hugged the flag. Everybody responded so well to that. What can we expect to hear from the president on Saturday?
Yeah, you know, I don't want to get ahead of the president's speech, but we are at a conservative gathering, so I think it's safe to say that you'll be hearing about the great judges the president has appointed, 1 and 4 circuit court judges being appointed by President Trump. These are judges that will protect life and liberty and the values that make conservatism a cohesive philosophy. You'll also be hearing, I'm sure, about the booming economy, and then, you know, I leave it to the president about what else he chooses to put in there. He always gives a great speech, and this will be no exception.
And that speech will be on the heels of his rally in South Carolina on Friday. Yes. Tell us a little bit about his visit down to Charleston.
Yeah, it'll be a great time. You know, Senator Lindsey Graham being a big ally of the president, Senator Tim Scott, we've got a lot of great friends down there. So it'll be fun to be in South Carolina among some of the president's most fervent and greatest supporters. You know, again, we'll see what the president has to say to the great state of South Carolina. It's, of course, coming just before the South Carolina Democrat primaries and then just before our North Carolina rally in Charlotte.
That's right. And so what's your take on the Democrat debate that took place down in South Carolina?
Chaos. I mean, it was utter, sheer chaos. And it was such a juxtaposition. You had the president leading on the world stage with India, negotiating these great deals. And then you look over to the Democrat debate stage, and it's just pure and utter chaos. You have a socialist attacking a billionaire who's trying to buy the election, and just all kinds of strange dynamics. And I think the American people saw the contrast and said, we stand with President Trump.
Eager to see the turnout on Friday down in Charleston. So.
Yeah, it will be big. It always is. Yeah.
Kayleigh, thank you for joining us.
Good to see you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.